First, though, we're hearing from a Johnson County deputy shot while responding to a call in the Knoxville area. Thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 6. I'm Erica Thomas.
And I'm Darren Bobb. The suspect is behind bars for attempted capital murder. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker has the story.
I'm here at the Johnson County Sheriff's Office where Lieutenant Brent Scott hasn't missed a day in the office since being shot on Saturday. He tells me he is still in pain, but is thankful his injuries weren't much worse.
There's no doubt about the power of prayer. There's no doubt that it was God himself that steered that round to the path of least resistance.
Lieutenant Brent Scott says he was off duty Saturday when a stolen property investigation at a home on Ivy Lane in Knoxville escalated. Investigators say the suspect, Christina Beasley, refused to come out of a camper trailer and raised a handgun through the window, narrowly missing a deputy. That's when Scott and other supervisors from the sheriff's office responded to the scene. Scott says he stood about 40 yards from the trailer behind a small tree.
While I was standing there, probably 15 minutes after my arrival, there was a single blast, gunshot, and I felt that I'd been struck immediately.
A trooper used a shield to help take him to safety. He was then taken by ambulance to the hospital. The round went into the left side of his groin and traveled at a downward right angle into his upper right femur. He says doctors decided to leave the bullet in because removing it could cause more damage. Monday, investigators found a spent round on the trauma plate of his bulletproof vest. Scott says adrenaline kicked in along with his training.
That kind of comes on later in the days that follow when you think it was inches, it was centimeters, it was millimeters that determined live or die in this situation. And then you kind of start to think a little bit more about what could have been.
Though Scott won't be back to normal duty for 2 weeks, as a supervisor, he didn't want to miss a day of coming into the office.
I want them to see that I was able to get up and walk myself out of there after being shot that day and get on an ambulance. I was in the hospital for minimal time and then walked back into this office yesterday and today just so that they could see, hey, because you're shot doesn't mean it's over.
I asked Lieutenant Scott what he has to say to the woman who shot him, and he told me he hasn't given her one thought. In Clarksville, covering news where you live, Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
The suspect, Christina Beasley, is behind bars, again on attempted capital murder charges.
She's being held at the Franklin County Jail on $1 million cash-only bond.
Happening